Hi, my name's Ellie. Welcome to my channel. I talk about anything to do with living with complex mental health conditions. Today's video is about self-harm and 5 tips to start to overcome self-harming behaviour. This is not to say this is going to solve everything. It is a process. It's not something that happens overnight, but here are some of the top 5 things that I found really helpful on my journey. To put into context, I have been a prolific self-harmer throughout most of my adult life, and this has had a massive effect on my life, and I've been someone who has been round and round in A&E multiple times a day. I've been hospitalised for it. I've had some very serious effects from self-harming, but I'm also now someone who can proudly say that she hasn't self-harmed for over a year. It's been a gradual process. I'm definitely in a lot better place than I used to be. Number 1, working out what you get from self-harming. Self-harming behaviours provide a function, and that is different for everybody, and there may be multiple functions. A girl who I was on a programme with told me to write down a list of the things that self-harm gave me. I had 4 sides of A4 paper with different things that self-harm helped me with. This included control, it included needing to see the blood and things like that. It included that I was bored. It included that I couldn't manage my emotions because I wanted to punish myself. There was all sorts of things. Having made this list, I felt like this was a bit of a big thing to overcome. That brings me on to number 2, which is trying out replacements. So I was often told, ping an elastic band on your wrist, draw on your arm in red pen, and that never helped for me. And I think making the list of working out what I got from self-harm helped me understand why that didn't work for me. It wasn't about needing to feel the pain for me, it was about other things. So I slowly started chipping away at those things, finding a replacement for one of the things. So I didn't feel I had control in my life, and I used self-harm to control things. Finding out ways I could take back control in my life. And one of the other things is realising that actually I need a sense of risk in my life, and so I took up roller skating in skate parks, which is risky, but it's a socially acceptable form of risk, and one where I had to look after my body and not hurt it in order to be able to take part. This is a trial and error thing. It probably took me about 6 years to get to the point that I'm at now, but it was slowly but surely finding things that help, and I often don't even think about those things now. They just happen, they're part of my life. Number 3, learning from mistakes. I can't emphasize how important it is to know that if you slip up and self-harm, that's fine, but the best thing that you can do is to learn from what happened. So reflect on what happened, what led up to it. Was there anything that you could have done differently? Was that actually the only thing that would have helped in that situation, which sometimes it is. Learning from what happened and learning how to change that in the future or get back up again if you've had a bit of a slip is really, really important. As I said, I'm a roller skater. One of the things that I use as a metaphor for life is that in roller skating, you can't become a good roller skater if you don't learn to fall down and get back up again. You can't be a skater without falling down, and it's the same with something like recovery from self-harm. You can't recover from self-harm unless you end up using self-harm and then realising and reflecting what's happened and what led you to that point and how you can change things. Number 4, talking about it. This seems really basic, but so many of us are conditioned not to talk about self-harm. It's very taboo, it's censored on social media. Often professionals don't want to talk about it. It's not something that's socially acceptable to bring up in a lot of conversations, but if you can, and if you have a way of doing that, whether that is, on a forum, with a mental health nurse, with your friend, with your family, with your cat, talk about it. I can't say how important that has been, and that is something that for me now really, really helps me not use self-harm, because now when I first start getting the urges, I will talk about it with someone and we'll discuss what's going on for me and maybe what needs to change. Number 5, understand that any progress is progress. If, for example, you're someone who cuts for self-harm and you usually make many cuts but you make a few less, that is progress. If you talk to someone before you self-harm and maybe you still do it, but you've talked to someone, that's still progress. If you try out a new replacement method but it doesn't quite work, that's still progress. You can learn from it. The only way you're not making progress is if you're burying your head and not willing to learn from what's going on each time this situation occurs. So I hope that was helpful. Just 5 quick things that really helped me to move forward with self-harm. Thank you for watching this video. Please comment and like and subscribe if you want to hear more about living with complex mental health conditions.